and welcome to the England B Team podcast, a football podcast brought to you by an Englishman who wasn't good enough to make it as a professional footballer.
And an Irishman who wasn't good enough to play for England.
I think I said that very quick that time. Anyway,
Quick,
I'm
yeah.
Joe, and this is my co-host Gareth, and we're back once again to talk about all things football. Yes, I am very excited.
And that introduction actually is very apt for what we're about to talk about today as well.
True.
I probably could get in the England team at the minute.
Yeah, well, before we mention that, how are you?
Very good.
New?
Very
It's
good.
been, we've had a good episode out last week.
That was a lot of fun in the episode,
the
yeah.
FA Cup songs, which is
Was that
kind
last
of
week it came out, yeah?
Yeah, it came out a week ago today.
Well,
Bit
not
of a
for
dying...
these guys now, there.
No, true.
Yeah,
it came out 3 weeks ago.
Today, yeah.
Yeah, but it was our last episode, and it was a really fun one.
It was a lot of fun.
Really good fun.
And since then, what have we been doing? Football. Bundesliga pause, which has been nice. International break.
Yeah,
So,
which is also again
haven't been at
leading
Leverkusen.
to what we're going to talk
True,
about today.
True. That's probably the catalyst for today's episode is watching the international break.
Yep.
But it means I haven't been to live football in a while. I think the last match I was at was it the Cologne away game? It's been a few weeks since I've been at a football match.
Mine was the Carabag game.
Oh, you were at that, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild,
Man.
by the way. That was... What was it? It was 3-2, yeah.
I can't believe I missed that. I had to work that night.
Ridiculous.
Patrick Schick, 2 goals in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, 2-0 down. 2-0 down. And the other Carabag had a red card. And also, I was sick that night, and I was considering...
You were dying,
I was considering leaving in the 70th minute, no matter what the score was.
Thank God you didn't.
And then I think on the 70th minute, Frimpong scored, or just before, and I was like,
yeah,
no, I can't leave. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. I'd hate myself for it. For getting
You would.
home,
I hated myself for not going at all. I really kicked myself. So
like an hour early just to... And I was...
No, you can't miss those kind of games.
But it was amazing. But yeah, looking forward now to the... I guess we can call it the business end of the season.
Really is. Only a couple of weeks left of the season.
Also looking forward for Chelsea.
Yeah. Wow. No.
Yeah, let's see. But we have an FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah, that is true.
So we could...
Yeah, if we have enough players to field for the match. I was looking up our injury list before this.
True, apparently Chilwell's out now as well.
Yeah, he got a bruised thigh in the game against Belgium. God help him.
Before that, quickly, I just want to mention we actually now have also 50,000 views on YouTube.
That's wild.
Which does include shorts as well, but still, it's a view.
Yeah.
It's always happy to get
50,000 views, man. We're famous.
And I think this episode, I think this will be a popular one. Well, the topic will be popular, but where we're going with the topic might not be popular, especially speaking to friends. Maybe the same for you and the people you speak to as well.
Well, it's different for me, but we'll get to that.
And that's also true. But yeah, without any further ado, today...
Yeah? Well, why are we talking about this? What is the topic? Where you go?
So the topic is... The title of this episode will be called In Defense of Gareth Southgate. Yeah. Which I think may shock a lot of listeners.
I will never understand why it shocks them, but it'll shock a lot of English people. I think anyone who's not English will look at this and go, no, Gareth Southgate should definitely be the England manager without any doubt
it's like
whatsoever.
he's been linked to Manchester United. All the non-United fans are like, yes, he should go to United.
Yeah, man, he would, whatever.
Again, but
get into that.
Before we go into that, I don't think he'd be a good manager at United, but that's a different thing. Club management, national management, but we can talk about that later. Talk about that later. But why are we talking about this? Obviously, we've just had the international break. England played on Tuesday against Belgium.
Did well.
Drew 2-2. Should have won. We only conceded both goals because of 2 mistakes.
And a lot of players were missing as well.
Yeah, lots of our best players are missing.
And these are warm-up games. They're not essential at all. I don't care.
Yeah. It's about give the players a run out.
The result doesn't matter.
Belgium also a decent team. Of course, not how they were years ago, but they're still a good team. And of course, we lost against Brazil as well.
Just about as well. Yeah.
That wasn't the best game, but again, we can come on to why we lost. Was it Southgate's fault? All of that. Yeah. And also why we're talking about this, because was it a month ago before international break? Typical English press. We're going to win the Euros. We've got the best squad in the world. We've got the best players in the world in every position. The expectations before every single tournament. I think I'd do the same as well. But I like to think we're a bit more level-headed with who we want to blame. Yeah, I don't, because in my opinion, most of the press they bring pin it on Southgate.
Also, this is the British press we're talking about, which are known worldwide for being the most useless shite of press. British newspapers, disgusting. Yeah, shite. Like Daily Mail, The Sun, they're not newspapers, they're rags. Yeah. And the tabloid press in Britain, it gets all its sales from just winding up people, getting emotion going, fear-mongering.
Twisting words, etc.
Yeah, I know we were going to talk about this later, but a perfect example about what's been in the media recently about the England team. The fucking flag, man.
Oh, God.
Oh, if I hear one more thing about this flag, I'm going to scream.
Boycott Nike. Oh, God. It's just embarrassing.
Fuck up. And then Piers Morgan gets involved and you're like, oh, great. That's exactly the opinion we needed here. But even you've got the British press, who are shite, famously shite, and now you've got this new world where we've got YouTubers and internet personalities making their mark. Also, a lot of the British ones, shite. It's Mark Goldbridge, moany prick, never shuts up. Simon Jordan, man, don't even start me on him. People listen. Joey Barton's arrogant. On TV.
Joey Barton,
he's on TV. Like people are listening to Joey Barton. So when we're talking about the press, we have to remember this is the English press, which are awful.
Unless I feel quite lucky, I should be able to understand German, but I don't, so I can't understand too much German drama in the press. But there must be less.
Isn't drama in the German press?
But I said the British, well, mainly the English press, is notorious for being
especially newspapers.
Toxic.
I actually think the British newspapers are worse than the American ones.
I think we're going to talk about the newspapers a bit later in the episode as well. I've got a few examples, but yeah. So I think you can kind of gather from what we're saying here. One, we don't care about the flag change on the kit.
No, who gives
It's just
a
a kit. It's just a flag.
I actually quite like it.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty.
Stylish.
And two, we like Southgate, but we'll go into a bit more why we think a bit later.
I love him.
But I think one good place to start is talking about the recent history of English managers.
Yeah, because we can put this into context.
Let's say, one, we haven't had much luck in football, especially since 1966,
which is a long time now.
Yeah. And there's been some very good managers also, to try and bring
even
us
66 forward. By the way. Okay, England played very well, very lucky in the final. And what was there, 15 teams in that World Cup? And it was a home World Cup.
Different environment.
Like this was a lucky one as well.
Different environment completely.
You know, but it is important to put these things into context, because I feel like the British press and the British people, they get so, or the English, will get so focused on it every year, and they make the same mistakes every year. They do the same hype, it's been the same one every major tournament I can remember.
And they typically blame one person, typically the manager.
Yeah.
Or one player or something.
They'll do two things.
Like they'll blame Beckham in 98, they blame Rooney in 2006.
But also what they do with those players as well is every tournament they have one player they pin all our hopes on. They do that. Even did it with Ross Barkley one year.
This year maybe it's a couple more because it's a really good squad. Maybe it's like Kane and Bellingham. But Bellingham's like, Bellingham's amazing.
Which is
they're saying like he's the best player in Europe, but he's amazing, but he's not. He's not even the best player at Real Madrid, in my opinion. Vinicius Junior is.
I think they're using the system to get the best out of him, 100%. But
he obviously is amazing. Don't let me know, but like so much
expectations on him. It's a good team. So putting this into context is so important, because I just don't understand how they keep doing the same thing every tournament, and no one goes, hang on, maybe there's a pattern here we should pick up on. So that's why going through the recent England managers, even longer than recent, we can see the same pattern coming up, and hopefully this will change the narrative a little bit.
Yeah. So one thing I first wanted to speak about is there seems to be as well, like, I don't really know how I feel about it, but like, there's the expectation that we have to have an English manager, which I don't really have a strong feeling, but I think most people in the country would want an English manager. And obviously we did experiment with a couple of foreign managers. I think there's only two. Was it Sven and Capello?
Capello, yeah. Isn't that it?
And again, both were treated pretty not great by the press. Like they had a lot of issues. I think they also both mentioned they felt like they were never really given a chance.
No. But you don't get a chance in England.
Exactly. So one thing that happened to Sven-Göran Eriksson, he was tricked by a News of the World reporter into saying that he wanted to join Villa. This guy was pretending to be like I think he was like a rich sheikh or something.
Yeah.
And like, why if you're and this guy was from, I think he was from Birmingham. Like, why would you benefit from tricking the England manager into getting him to admit? Like, it's just.
That's typical of the British media. Yeah. That is exactly what we're talking about.
And I think one of the good things about Southgate is he knows how to maneuver with the media.
He's great
He's
with the media.
Really good speaker.
He's superb.
Really good speaker. And then Capello as well happened to him. The News of the World had to pay... News of the World, was that? Piers Morgan used to work for them as well.
Yeah.
They had to pay him because they leaked pictures of him on his holiday with his wife. Like,
yeah, that was...
It's just...
Man, fucking disgusting.
And
they really are.
Of course, like, also looking through the manager we've had, Steve McLaren, he was labelled Wally of the Brolly. Okay, he wasn't a great manager, but again... No. Very harsh
description. It was an attack on him, yeah.
And
They love it when these managers don't do well. They thrive off it. Yeah. And that's why they're struggling a little bit with Southgate. They're scraping the barrel because at the end of the day, Southgate has done a good job.
He's done a really good job.
There's been nothing embarrassing about the England team. Even the times where they've went out with their heads head high. Yeah. The team is one of the most likeable teams in a long time.
Yeah, and that's down to him. He's built a likeable team.
So this is the only way the media can find some kind of attack.
Of course, they're still footballers. They're still earning ridiculous money, but I feel like there's a different mentality.
That should be noted.
Different mentality now compared to the golden generation team.
Yeah, which also I'd like to talk about because golden generation. There's been a lot of golden generations in England. I'm sick of hearing that term.
Yeah, but we're taking a look at some of the managers before Southgate. We've had Capello, Savem. Yeah. Maybe they weren't given a chance, but it didn't work out.
No, they didn't. I mean, Capello
and they were both very good managers in their own right.
Yeah, they achieved a lot before and after England.
Capello, he won. Did he win Champions League? He must have done. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sven won European Cups with other teams.
Did great with Lazio as well.
Steve McLaren. Okay, that was kind of. Yeah,
that was a mistake. But this is what happens when you start hiring England managers. Yeah. You shouldn't hire English managers. They're shite.
We had Roy Hodgson as well just before Southgate.
Don't even start me and Roy Hodgson.
Again, that didn't really work out. But of course, the team was very different as well.
I saw a picture the other day of the team that Roy Hodgson. Did you see this? Roy Hodgson's last team in the Euros. Yeah. Oh man, it was when they went out to Iceland. It was horrific. I mean, there was better players available too. Let's be fair. But yeah, again, English managers, they don't work. Maybe it's time to look elsewhere. Like
and the last one before Southgate was Big Sam Allardyce.
Yeah,
100% win ratio, but I kind of felt like that was never going to work out. Like,
no man.
Who was he at before? Was he at Everton? Was it Everton after England?
He was Everton after England, I think.
He was Bolton,
Blackburn.
Yeah,
man, he's a good Lancashire dogfight for relegation. That's what he's there. But Big Sam is not a modern. I love Big Sam with all my heart. Is he a modern manager? No. I think if we had kept Big Sam as England manager, we would have tried to see if Pascal Chimbonda had like an English ante to get him involved in the setup. Man, he was a good manager, but he's not England level. And also, no English manager has ever won the Premier League.
No.
That tells you English managers are just not that good. The closest is probably Kenny Dalglish, who was Scottish, and he won it with Blackburn.
Yeah,
that's it. And Alex Ferguson, obviously, but Scottish, totally different.
But every English manager who came like second.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe in the earlier 90s. I can't think. Kevin Keegan with Newcastle. They
True.
come second.
Yeah, they bollocks at that year. Yeah,
that could have been one. But in recent years, who's the English managers now? So English managers now. Who'd it be like?
Graham Potter.
Did
a great job at Chelsea. Yeah, brilliant.
Eddie Howe also struggling at Newcastle with bigger.
Like the England team have the quality of some of the best players in the world. You need a manager to match that.
Yeah.
Or you need a Southgate who knows the problems England have and can manage that. The other problems that come with being England manager.
This is the thing. It's like,
which is harder. I think.
Look at these lists of managers we've just said. Southgate's done so much better than all of them. Okay, the team is very good, but the team in 2006.
Team in 2006 was better.
Also, incredible. Better,
definitely better. We have gaps in this team. 2006 had a perfect team. Yeah. I mean, apart from the goalkeeper, it was one of the best 11s on paper.
But I really like your point about Southgate. The media don't like that Southgate can navigate them.
No, they've got nothing against him because also his personal life, as a person, he's so nice. Even the way he dealt with this whole flag controversy, he's like, I don't really care. I've got more important things. I'm like, well, you do. And everyone's like, oh, he's a fence sitter. Like, no, he's not. He's just not a fucking gammon.
Yeah. Have you anything you want to add as well? I've
got lots I want to add
on the media or anything? Or?
Man, fuck the British media. Fuck them.
They're going to get us cancelled now by the media.
I'd love to see them try. Piers Morgan come after me. Absolutely gammon.
We live in Germany now anyway, it's alright.
This is actually one important point. So I do support the England football team, as I've said many times, but I'm not English. Yep. So I get to watch this from the outside. And especially in Ireland, where we're not the world's biggest fan of the English, okay? We love watching England fuck up. We love them screwing up major tournaments. We love them hyping up their players and falling down. Often. But even Irish people, I've had this conversation with so many Irish people saying this England team is likeable.
Yeah.
The players are nice. They're professional. They do a lot for charity. The last England team, the one that...
They care about playing for England.
When they got knocked out in the Euros with all the racist abuse and stuff, you were like, why are you doing it to such a nice... Not that it's ever acceptable.
No,
but especially, why are you abusing a team that is just great? They're playing good football. They're lovely lads. Your manager is a proper nice citizen. Like Big Sam and all those kind of people, they're good, but they're pub man. Like they're pub men.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not like real people. Gareth Southgate's an actual human being that could be like.
He really.
He's got a level head.
About players, like he does he wants to do his best for the players and the team,
which is obviously what England need to do. England are fine at producing world-class players. They can even get world-class managers in. Doesn't work. Never worked.
No, it never has.
And if England are going to continue to do that for the rest of the time, then they're never going to win anything. The only chance they've got, I really think, is Southgate. Genuinely believe that.
Yeah, I mean, there could be maybe there'll be managers produced over the years, but like I said, there's never been an English manager won the Premier League. And also, interestingly, I don't know if it was major competitions, but there's never been a manager to win the World Cup who hasn't. So, for example, a foreign manager has never managed a team like Argentina and won the World Cup.
Oh, really?
Like, it's only been home nations. The manager's been from the nation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it is like international football is different.
Scaloni, Argentina, Deschamps,
France,
Löw, Germany.
Germany have only ever had German managers.
Yeah, who was 2010?
But German managers are good.
Del Bosque, Spain.
2006, who was managing Italy?
Lippi.
Lippi, that's right.
2002
was
Scolari,
yeah. 98.
I can't think 98.
France, I don't know who was managing France in 98. Oh, it was another... Oh no, Didier Deschamps was captain.
Yeah.
I don't know who was managing.
Yeah, but like I said, so if England do want to win the trophy, they have to have an English manager, and I still think the best English manager right now,
Gareth Southgate,
is Gareth Southgate.
The homework's done. The proof is in the pudding. The numbers support it. He's by far the best they've got.
Yeah,
by far. And like we talk about these golden generations, they've had so many of them. England, so many. The last the 2006 one was good. The 98 team was great as well.
Yeah,
and they only got to the round of 16.
96 they got to the Euro semi-final, I think.
Yeah, and that was good, but still, that was a great team. Better than this team. I think the 98 team was more well-rounded than this team. Yeah,
that's one thing I want to touch on now. So one of the next things, I think we've already touched on a bit what we really think of Southgate, but a bit more details into why I think this. So one thing I've been really thinking about recently is the team and squad actually as good as we think? Because it is a great squad, but I feel like we have such probably at least like 95% of the squad they play in England.
Yeah.
I feel like me, maybe you, and any other England fans, there's such a Premier League bias. So I think we kind of think just because we see them play every week,
that they're good.
They're good. And of course there's some amazing players. Like, of course, well, the two best players don't actually play in England.
Yeah.
You've got Kane and Bellingham.
They are.
But I really think there's a lack of... I think Jordan Pickford's a good goalkeeper. But when you look at Germany have got Neuer still. Ter Stegen in second place. France, they've got Mike Maignan playing in the Champions League. What other nations are there? Spain have Unai Simon. And they've got David Raya, who's also playing in the Champions League. Like, none of our goalkeepers play in the Champions League. Pickford's never been played in Europe.
True.
Aaron Ramsdale's second choice goalkeeper
at Arsenal.
Sam Johnston. He's
Sam
Johnston.
Exactly. No disrespect.
We still have Edison and Alisson.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the only nation that maybe won without a world-class goalkeeper is Argentina. I can't think who their goalkeeper is.
Emi Martinez.
Yeah, actually, he's a very good goalkeeper.
He's good. Like,
yeah, that's true.
He's better than Jordan Pickford anyway.
I was thinking about Romero in 2014.
But what about England have always had this tradition of having terrible goalkeepers. So that's a long-standing.
I think Pickford's a fine keeper, but he's not. He's been reliable for England, but he's not like if it was like England versus Germany, and you had rely on your goalkeeper to make a one-on-one save.
Yeah.
You expect Germany to come out on top in that.
Yeah.
Like to make a world-class
You would.
save.
Although in defence of Pickford, I will say for England, he is a match winner.
Yeah. It's the same as always with centre-back as well. I think centre-back's also got a huge problem. John Stones incredible.
Yeah.
Although he gets
Stones
injured.
is great.
Maguire's been very reliable for England, but again, you can't compare him to the other nations. Like, look at Germany. Got Rudiger's
Plus,
Rudiger, the best centre-back in La Liga this season, in my opinion. And you got Jonathan Tah.
Yeah.
Who's now the captain of unbeaten by Leverkusen.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been a solid defender for a few years, but now he's really turning into a class defender.
And they've got great central midfielders and holding midfielders. They've got quality. Although Germany, they're not playing great either at the minute.
They won they beat France and Netherlands.
They did.
So
yeah.
I think Germany, we're going to do a Euros preview, but I think Germany have an incredible team.
This is another point that's quite important to remember about the England team under Southgate is in that time, so Southgate took over in 2016? Yeah. In that time, most of the big European teams, bar France, have had terrible fall-offs in that time.
Yep.
Italy have struggled massively. Spain have not been the same team. No. Germany have been shite for the last year. Holland,
Brazil,
disastrous. The only team that's maybe comparable is France. France have done well, but three things that people hate Gareth Southgate for. Same things as France. So The defensive style, even though you've got this great attacking squad,
Yep.
you still play defensive. Being very cautious in the general style of football and putting a lot of loyalty to certain players. 3 things Didier Deschamps is known for at France. He has loyalty, like he kept picking Olivier Giroud, even though Benzema was back. Insisted on it. He's very cautious with his style. He has so many great attacking players up there. He doesn't play them in that way. And he's won a World Cup.
And also, one thing I would add, I think you can't compare. The France squad in 2018 was incredible. Like,
great team,
compare it to
they won the World Cup in that kind of way of winning it.
But the style of play, of course, yeah. But like the squad that's my point about England. I think the squad is really good, but I think there's still so many holes. And one thing I think the most important thing is that it's super inexperienced in international competitions.
Yeah.
Like this is Saka's a brilliant player. It's his first season playing in the Champions League. Harry Kane's been in and out of it because Tottenham didn't qualify. He never won a trophy.
Exactly.
The centre backs, the missing centre backs. You've got all the right backs pretty solid, but they're all injury prone.
I'm about to say if they can play.
Luke Shaw's always injured. Chilwell's always injured. Central midfield, we've got Declan Rice. Again, this is his first season playing Champions League football.
True.
Bellingham's only 20. We don't really have a third centre midfielder.
Unless Mason Mount gets his act together and gets back to football. But
I forgot about him actually.
I never forget about him. I think about him every night. The snake.
And I think one of the main questions is kind of, but we saw from the friendlies the other day. What if Kane gets injured?
Well, this is my biggest problem with England is you don't really have a strong backup option.
Ivan Toney is a really good striker, but he's not a world-class striker.
No, he's not.
Ollie Watkins, again, a good striker. He's not a world-class striker.
I think Southgate can make them work, though, because you're going to have to. I think the assumption that England have this unbelievable squad of great players ready to go out and win major tournaments is not true. Other teams have better squads. Germany, man for man, have as good, if not better, a squad than England.
I think so too.
France definitely have a better squad than England. And lots of other teams do as well. But this is always
Brazil
England.
Could do as well.
England have a good squad, and they have a squad capable of winning, but they cannot keep doing this thing of putting it on like a couple of players to say, we've got them.
If the whole squad is, the whole starting 11 example is fully fit and playing at their best, yes, I think they can win it, because did he have Harry Kane when he's on his day, best striker in the world, and he's on his day most of the time. Saka, one of the best wingers in the Premier League. Foden, just a genius. Declan Rice, incredible form. Bellingham, Kyle Walker or Reece James or Alexander Arnold or Ben White or Kieran Trippier. Left back is a bit of an issue. But
if Chilwell's fit
or Shaw's fit, then great. Pickford, again, not world class but reliable. John Stones, incredible. And Harry Maguire, on his best day for England, is a very good defender.
Yeah, exactly. And also, what do you expect from a major team? Because I think people are going, England have this great attacking wealth. We should go out there and play free-flowing attacking football and steamroll our way to a championship.
That's the thing. It's like,
when do you last remember an international team doing that?
Never.
I genuinely think the last time...
Look at Argentina last year. They relied on Messi.
They were all over the place. They got beat by Saudi Arabia. You don't win international competitions like that. The last time I think a team really just blew it away and won an international competition was 1970 Brazil.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the last time we saw football beyond everyone else.
Incredible Spain team in 2010.
Struggled
They scraped through a lot of games. Yeah. They had a lot of 1-0s.
2008, when they started this whole winning thing, they just about qualified. The last game was away. We had home to Northern Ireland. I went to it. They won 1-0. Scraped the win. If they didn't get that, they wouldn't have qualified. We beat them.
Yeah, and
teams don't run away with the
Germany team in 2014. That was just a super physical, strong team.
Yeah, they didn't go and play this amazing attacking football. Apart from
the Brazil game,
but Brazil were shite.
But they were just they weren't like a free flowing team. They were a team of units really. They had fucking Huerdes, Hummels, Boateng, Philipp Lahm, Khedira, Kroos,
fighters,
Müller, all fucking
grinding out a result if you need to. And nobody cares. That's the thing. I don't care if England play great football. I want them to be solid. Southgate's record speaks for his own. He has got 6 knockout wins as an England manager in major tournaments. That is the same as the previous 48 years combined with all England managers.
That's the thing as well.
That is stupid to even consider sacking him.
That's the thing as well. People were saying, we should have beat Croatia in 2018. We should have beat Italy in 2021. Yeah, we had a really good chance. We had a really good chance, but that England team 2018,
wasn't that great either.
It really wasn't.
And they didn't go
Croatia
out embarrassed.
They had Luka Modric, they had Kovacic, they had Mandzukic.
And it was such a tight match.
Such a tight match.
And the same with France in the last
Harry
World Cup.
Kane missed a really good chance.
I will say, in the last World Cup, England went toe-to-toe with France, who did end up winning the previous World Cup, and are a great team, got to the final that year. They went toe-to-toe with them right to the end of the game. Yeah, Harry Kane missed a penalty, and that's maybe his inexperience at that level.
Decisions as well, yeah.
But we watched that game, and England played great. And you thought, if that penalty goes in, suddenly Gareth Southgate is the best manager in the world.
Yeah.
And who else are you going to bring in? Really, like, I've heard calls for Jose Mourinho, and you're going, okay, I love Jose, but you want to play free flowing attacking football, you're going to bring in Jose.
Really? People saying that he's a tournament football expert, but like, again, I don't think there's a translation from club football to
international. Well, you think of the managers that have won the World Cup, they're not necessarily the greatest managers in the world.
Like, who's the manager? Like, so obviously Mancini, he went from winning titles in Man City to winning with Italy, but again, that was like 8 years difference, nearly.
Yeah.
Del Bosque, his last job before going to Spain was Besiktas.
Yeah. Didier Deschamps has done pretty much nothing.
Scaloni of Argentina, I think he went from under 21s Argentina to now. Deschamps' last club was getting sacked by Marseille.
Is that he hasn't done any?
I think he was sacked by Marseille. He's been there for like 12 years, I think now.
Yeah, he has now, but he's not really done anything else as a coach, has he? Yeah, Monaco, Juventus for a year, Marseille for 3 years, and that's it.
Yeah, so like
one fuck all, and now
I really don't think you can translate it like that. Like,
it's not the same thing. It's just not, and that has to be recognised. Bringing in Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp or Jose Mourinho, none of them want the England job anyway. To be honest, why would you? You'd be insane.
And you only have a few weeks with your team. You don't get the whole year to train them. Like, that's completely different.
And the most important thing for England in that time is to get a good relationship with the media. Make sure the players are happy, because we've seen that golden generation 2006 talk so much about how they hated each other. They didn't get on.
Yeah, they
hated the media.
Sit on separate tables.
Yeah, it's all ridiculous. And you watch the England team, especially in 2018 at the World Cup, all these videos coming out and having great times and having good relationships with the media. Southgate's done
last
all
year,
that.
or the last tournament as well.
And that, picking your favourites and loyalty, if that's the biggest criticism you can make of Gareth Southgate, that he's loyal to certain players who do it in an England shirt, then that's not really much to attack him on. His record speaks for itself.
And again, there's a lot of the players, a lot of the positions he's loyal, it's because there's not a lot of choice.
Exactly.
I think England have some great young centre backs, but they're very young, and it's already quite a young.
And he is trying, like Kobe Mainoo looks like he is going to get some time with England.
So
that's a brave
that's one
call.
of the things. Like, if we don't have
doing it.
If we don't play Harry Maguire, who's the alternative? We've got Colwill at Chelsea, who I love, but again,
he's always injured again.
20. There's Bramthwaite at Everton having a great season, but again, you're throwing him in
to that level of
already in a young team with Bellingham and Saka and
we all know it's experience that matters at that level. It's knowing that's having the level, especially for England, where you get attacked so much. And also, by the way, 2002 World Cup, England's most attacking major tournament of all time, 13 goals in 5 games. That's a record. The most goals they've ever scored in a major tournament. Gareth Southgate. I cannot see a single reason why.
2018 World Cup.
2022.
I thought you said 2002. Sorry.
2022, the most attacking they've ever had. So I do not see a good argument against Gareth Southgate. No. I really don't. Like, who are you going to bring in and what are you going to do? No other team is playing with this beautiful free-flowing attacking football in major tournaments. You don't do it. And do you give a shit?
It's like a rare game every now and then, but
England have had awful luck.
Your point about Didier Deschamps is spot on.
Same things.
And again, the 2018 squad, like I think they also got on super well.
They did. They're famous for it.
In general, he's created, maybe now it's a bit not as, the vibe seems to be not as strong as before. But he's also been there for a long time.
But he made those decisions, like keeping out Benzema as well. Like, that was good for the squad morality because I think what happened with Benzema.
Yeah, the only issue that Southgate seems to have is with Ben White. Have you heard much about that?
Yeah, I've been reading a bit about it and I've been seeing.
Yeah, I think people were being super extreme on that topic. I don't blame Ben White for not going to the squad. No. If he didn't feel comfortable, then that's fine. Like, I think it's also important to speak about mental health. Yeah. And I understand, like, if he was, again, I don't know Steve Holland, but I think he was quite respected in football. Like, he did a great job at Chelsea. Yeah. Been in Southgate for a long time. Yeah. I don't think he tried to out Ben White on purpose, if we are reading what we've read as the truth. But I also understand that Ben White wouldn't have liked that. So, of course and if that makes him feel uncomfortable with his peers, then
and also, enough. If that's the worst thing that's happened under Gareth Southgate's tenure in terms of morality at the club, that's nothing.
No. And again, and people were saying, Southgate lied. He should have said from the start, that there was a problem. But this is just, when has a manager ever came out and told what happens behind closed doors?
And imagine he did with the English press. Exactly, what would they do to him? They would rip him to shreds.
It's just like, he's just protecting all parties. Like, if he comes out and says that White was embarrassed from this whole squad, maybe that embarrasses White. It looks like there's problems in the dressing room.
It looks after his players.
Yeah, it looks after everyone. So I think
every player that plays for him has very high words of him.
Yeah,
not so every, but most
who are saying Ben White's a disgrace are stupid. The people who, and then all the Arsenal fans who are saying Southgate's an idiot, also stupid. Like, just think about it level-headedly. Like, it's just a one-off thing, and like.
That's the only thing I kind of hate about, like, I love watching the England football team and they're such a romantic story, and this particular team I love, but the Euros are being held here, for example. A little bit relieved that I don't have a ticket for a match, because I think if I went to an England game at a major tournament and saw the fans, it would take all the joy away from me, because England fans, let's be honest,
I have a ticket, so
vast majority dickheads.
Yeah, I have a ticket, so listen.
Yeah. But I don't want my love to be taken away. I want to go to the pub and watch with my mates instead of seeing these gammons, big red faces, and well, they're definitely going to have the St George's flag on them, aren't they, this year? None of them are going to be doing it in purple either. It's going to ruin it for me. England fans get way too carried away with it.
I might take a purple flag with me.
Oh yeah, get lynched.
But I think we've spoken a lot about how much we love Southgate.
And do you know what? By the way, very stylish man. He wears a Marks and Spencer suit. He's bringing back the waistcoat single-handedly. Looks great.
Yeah, I really think he's exceeded expectations.
I love him.
To be honest,
I love him.
I think he's exceeded expectations, and I think the main problem with England is the arrogance of English fans, including me as well. I've done it before. I'm always singing "It's Coming Home" before tournaments.
But also, "It's Coming Home" is a great song.
It is great, but yeah,
I know it winds a lot of people up.
Yeah,
and people do love watching England lose, which also is nice. It gives you that little, like, we support Chelsea as well, and Leverkusen as well. Not the most liked clubs in the world. We're kind of used to being disliked. It's all right.
Yeah.
I love that song, but I'm going to be singing it all summer.
Sing it,
we definitely have to do something about England songs as well, because there's some great songs.
True, there's English songs. It's one of my most things I look forward to the most before the tournament. Is singing the songs for sure.
Watching Mike Bassett, getting on that before the tournament. We'll have to do a night for that as well. You have to do a Mike Bassett night. I always do it the night before the major tournament.
The manager.
And that
get him into the job.
Yeah,
four fucking 2.
Honestly, that film, obviously it's satire, but it shows you exactly what it summarizes perfectly really what the media do to the England team. And that film was so popular for a reason.
Over 20 years ago, and it's still exactly the same now.
Still the same. England people still
worse now.
If you want my advice, see if you're English, right, and you're trying to get your media consumption about the England team, first of all, as a general rule, never read The Sun. Never ever read The Sun. If someone sends me a link on the internet and it's got The Sun on it, I'll be cold in the ground before I click a link to The Sun. Cold in the ground. Same with the Daily Mail. They're not newspapers. By the way, academic research in the UK, you cannot cite The Sun or the Daily Mail as a legitimate source. It's that bad. Good. Also, people like Joey Barton. Don't listen to Joey Barton, okay? No. Just don't listen to him. Talks out his arse. Simon Jordan. Don't listen to him. Mark Goldbridge. Don't listen to him. Moany prick. Forget them all.
I don't think Goldbridge is a bad person. I think he's just... But I think a lot of these people, they know what to say to get reactions.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas don't us, we give you authentic opinions.
Come to us. Come to the Irish guys supporting England.
We really believe that Southgate is the one. We're not saying this to be
because of Atomic Kitten.
No. That was my ending line.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sorry.
It's alright, no, it's fine.
Well, we'll cut this out. You can do it again.
No, it's fine. But yeah, like, I think...
And also, I have to say, I'm Irish. I have so many reasons not to like the England team. I don't like England in any other sport, and as a country in general, not as biggest fan of you, to be totally honest. But your football team, love them. And Gareth Southgate is by far the most likeable manager. He looks great. He says the right thing. He's a level-headed English person. He'd be a great Prime Minister.
True.
I would definitely vote for him. No?
Yeah.
Level-headed man, great lad. And it would be poetic if he finally got the World Cup or the Euros, won it on penalties to get redemption for what happened to him all those years ago.
And people say it's coming home to you about the World Cup. It's the same for the Euros as well. Like, it's just as big.
Oh,
it's not just as big, but like
it's nearly as big though.
Yeah, it's still be exceptional. But yeah,
and like think about the last Euros, how close we got. Like, you cannot fault Southgate in that. If that penalty goes in, Southgate's the greatest hit manager of all time, and he's got a job for life. That's it. One kick of the ball.
And people were saying as well, like, we played defensive against Italy. But that was a really good Italy team. Still, it was.
He scored in like the first minute.
Yeah, they had Donnarumma in goal, who was better than Pickford. They had Chiellini and Bonucci. Okay, they were old, but ridiculously experienced. Yeah. They had Di Lorenzo, won the League of Napoli. Spinazzola was left back of the tournament. Barella, Jorginho.
Yeah, when was the last time anyone...
Immobile, like, come on, like, that's an incredible team.
When was the last time anyone turned over Italy at a major tournament?
Like, come on.
You don't. No. And that's the thing, when you go up against England, their teams are going to see, okay, their defence might be a little bit leaky, but going forward, they have a lot of potential. They're going to do a really low block. They're going to put players behind the ball, and that's kind of obvious in football. When teams do that, you don't score 6 goals against them. You struggle, and that's it. All teams struggle with that, and that's especially in international football. It's a different ballgame. All that matters is getting the win.
Yep.
And England do that, and Gareth Southgate has the highest win percentage by quite a bit of any England manager. Like 6 knockout wins, more than the last 48 years combined, is ludicrous.
That's ridiculous.
And if that was any other country, they'd be like, obviously we're not sacking him. But this isn't any other country. This is England.
This is England.
But yeah, I feel very passionate about it. I very in support of Gareth Southgate. If he wants to come on the podcast, if he wants to come out for a beer while he's in the Euros,
true, yeah.
When after the match,
if you're
he
in
wants to
Cologne,
go for a
Gareth,
pint.
come to Barney's.
Well, I know Barney's, our favourite pub, is going to close for the England game, but I think if I could convince Gareth to come out for a pint, they might open up for us.
Yeah, maybe they will.
So Gareth, if you're watching, don't know if he is or not, but he might now because we're in defence of him.
That's
but
true,
if you're watching, I'd love to have you for a pint. What do you think Gareth Southgate drinks?
Guinness.
I reckon he'd have like 1 Guinness.
I reckon
1 or 2.
Guinness guy, yeah.
And he'd have a pint of water in between because he's sensible.
Yeah.
And he'd pay for your Uber home. If you got too much to drink, Gareth Southgate would look after you. He'd carry you home. He'd pay for you. He'd get you a kebab and send you on your way.
But yeah, I think speaking of the Euros now, is a few very quick points I want to end on. Like we want to do a separate preview of the Euros. Maybe of course one for England in general, but also one for the whole tournament. Maybe also Germany as well, since we're here. But I think we need to remain optimistic.
Yeah.
We have a great team. We have a manager who I think is reliable. Okay, he's not the best manager in the world, but he gets a lot out of those players.
He's the best manager for England.
Yeah, for this current moment. Maybe in 10 years' time there'll be an exceptional English manager, but there's never been an exceptional English manager.
I can genuinely, if you said to me you can have any manager for England right now, I would pick Gareth Southgate. 100%.
Yeah, because it does, like I said, it doesn't translate from club to national. Yeah, optimistic. One, we need to focus and not think about stupid stuff like the flag. Man. That's just a distraction tactic.
It is.
It's election year as well. So.
It's working as well.
Yeah, election
Speaking
year
of election, by the way, the Tories deliberately used a blued out Union Jack for a long time with the changed colour to blue.
True, yeah.
Now they're complaining, man. Yeah. Fuck the Tories.
The
flag looks great. I'm getting the shirt. I'm not actually buying. I'm going to get it from China, which is even worse.
Me too. And the last thing is, of course, get behind Southgate in the team. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Not worry about the flag, not worry about we could have a different manager.
And I think a lot of people are behind. A lot of people are. Level-headed people are behind it. They enjoy the team.
Especially because international break, people lose their minds a bit because they miss club football and they're like...
Yeah, when the summer comes out and English people can't...
People got to sack Southgate now. That'd be the worst thing ever.
Well, you think as well, Gareth Southgate, on a very positive note, has given us some of the best moments in living history of being an England fan. The Kieran Trippier free kick against Croatia was peak.
Yep.
Luke Shaw scored that goal against Italy in the final, winning a penalty shootout. Man, beating Germany in the Euros. That was an unbelievable experience. Like, we saw the videos of the beer gardens across the country going wild for it. Gareth Southgate gave us all that. Sven-Goran Eriksson didn't give us any of that.
No.
Capello didn't give us that.
No.
Steve McLaren, God knows, didn't give us any of that.
And Big Sam did. He gave us 100% win ratio, so...
Yeah, before he got done for being corrupt, yeah, that's England in a
Big Sam, he was set up by the media, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a bit of a setup.
They were still out to get him.
Yeah, they were. Oh, they were waiting for it.
Anyway.
And, I said the same thing about Bex. You know the media are doing everything they can to find some kind of dirt in Southgate. Yeah. They're doing everything. And you know what? There isn't any. Because he's just a lovely bloke.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. He's a lovely bloke and he's the best manager England have ever had.
I think we've stated our case pretty well here.
We're doing another episode. We're going to do another episode of Gareth Southgate now.
We will. Again and again and again.
Yes.
Yeah,
there we are.
One thing I want to end on.
Go.
Southgate, you're the one. You still turn me on. Football's coming home again.
Do you know, for a long time I thought that song said Houston turned me on. And I was about 21 before I realised. I thought it was for me. I thought Tommy Kitten were singing to me.
So vain.
But
there we go.
Does turn Houston on as well.
Southgate, we thank you and we're looking forward to the Euros.
Yeah, it's coming home.
Anything else to add?
Nah, that's it.
There we go.
There we are. Lovely.
In defence of Gareth Southgate.
Cheerio, guys.
Adios.